The F-15E Strike Eagle, nicknamed the Strike Eagle, is not only a variant of the legendary F-15 Eagle fighter jet developed by McDonnell Douglas, now part of Boeing, for the U.S. Air Force, but also a symbol of the perfect balance between air superiority and long-range ground attack capabilities. Commissioned in 1988, the F-15E has participated in every major campaign from Desert Storm, Iraq, and Afghanistan to Syria, and has been continuously upgraded over the decades. With a two-person crew, a pilot and a weapons officer, this aircraft can perform complex missions, such as deep penetration into enemy territory, precision bombing, ground troop support, and self-defense against aerial threats. However, a tragic event occurred on April 3, 2026. The first F-15E was shot down over Iranian airspace, a true shock. The unbeatable legend of the F-15 series, something the U.S. Air Force had taken pride in for decades, suddenly had a crack. Now let's take a closer look at this fighter jet series. One design and specifications: the body of a killer. At first glance, the F-15E impresses with its powerful aerodynamic design, featuring a wingspan of 13 meters, a length of 19.4 meters, and a height of 5.6 meters. Its maximum takeoff weight reaches 36.7 tons, an impressive figure for a fighter jet. The most noticeable difference from its predecessor, the F-15, is the darker camouflage paint scheme, but more importantly, the two conformal fuel tanks, CFTs, permanently mounted along the fuselage. Each tank can hold up to 2,800 liters of fuel, extending the range to over 3,900 kilometers without the need for in-flight refueling, while also reducing aerodynamic drag compared to conventional external fuel tanks. At the heart of the Strike Eagle are two Pratt & Whitney F100-PW-229 engines, each generating a massive thrust of 129.7 kilonewtons when using afterburners. This power allows the F-15E to reach a maximum speed of Mach 2.5, approximately 2,655 kilometers per hour at high altitude, and can even maintain supersonic speed while flying close to the ground. A high thrust-to-weight ratio, combined with a low wing loading, gives the aircraft superior maneuverability. It can accelerate from idle to full power in under 4 seconds, perform tight turns without losing speed, and climb vertically like an arrow. A service ceiling of 18,300 meters ensures the F-15E can operate at strategic altitudes, evading many types of low-altitude air defense missiles. 2. Electronics and sensors, the electronic brain of the battlefield. If the airframe and engine are the muscles, then the avionics system is the soul of the F-15E. At the heart of this system is the AN/APG-82 V1 Active Phased Array Radar, one of the most advanced radars on 4++ generation aircraft. This radar can detect air-to-air targets at ranges exceeding 200 kilometers, map the ground with such high resolution that it can distinguish a moving truck, and simultaneously track over 24 different targets. When combined with the Sniper XR targeting pod, the crew can pinpoint ground targets with meter-level accuracy from an altitude of 10 kilometers, even in fog, smoke, or at night. One of the most significant upgrades in recent years is the EPAWSS, Eagle Passive/Active Warning and Survivability System, scheduled for completion in 2025. EPAWSS functions as an electronic shield, capable of detecting and classifying low-frequency enemy radars that conventional warning systems often miss. When locked onto by radar, the system can emit active jamming to disable enemy missiles, while simultaneously automatically deploying chaff and flares, as well as chaff line decoys to divert infrared-guided missiles. Thanks to the EPAWSS, the F-15E can penetrate dense air defense zones such as S-300 or S-400 systems without the support of stealth aircraft, at least in theory. The F-15E's cockpit is also designed to reduce the workload on the flight crew. The pilot in the front seat has a head-up display, HUD, on the windshield, which shows critical flight and tactical data without needing to look down at the instrument panel. The Weapons Systems Officer, WSO, sits in the rear, facing 4 multifunction displays that can simultaneously show images from radar, infrared sensors, moving maps, and threat status. The WSO is responsible for designating ground targets and managing weapons, while the pilot focuses on flying and maneuvering. This division of labor is key to the F-15E's effectiveness in high-intensity environments. 3. Massive weapons arsenal. Destructive power on every mounting point. The F-15E is equipped with up to 25 weapon mounting points, including adapters on the fuel tanks, with a total payload capacity of up to 10.4 tons. The most basic weapon is the 20mm M61A1 Vulcan rotary cannon with 500 rounds, capable of firing 6,000 rounds per minute, enough to cut any close-range target in half. For long-range air-to-air missions, the F-15E carries the AIM-120 AMRAAM missile with a range of up to 160 kilometers, featuring active radar guidance and fire-and-forget capability. At close range, the AIM-9X Sidewinder missile, with its ability to lock onto targets from behind, up to 90 degrees relative to the aircraft's axis, is a formidable weapon during intense dogfights. But where the F-15E truly shines is in ground attack. The GPS-guided JDAMG BU-31 bomb can be dropped from an altitude of 8,000 meters with an accuracy of just 5 meters, completely unaffected by weather conditions. The laser-guided GBU-12 Paveway 2 bomb requires the Weapons Systems Officer, WSO, to continuously lock on with the laser for the final 30 seconds, but in return offers higher accuracy, capable of hitting the window of an underground bunker. Additionally, the F-15E can carry the AGM-84 Harpoon anti-ship missile, the AGM-88 HARM anti-radiation missile to destroy air defense radars, and even the B-61 tactical nuclear bomb, with a yield adjustable from 0.3 to 340 kilotons. One interesting feature is the F-15E's ability to conduct low-cost attacks. To counter low-cost threats, such as drones or light tanks, the aircraft can carry 70mm APK-WS-2 rockets, each costing only about $30,000, instead of using AIM-120 missiles worth over $1 million. This flexibility demonstrates that the F-15E is not only powerful, but also smart in optimizing combat costs. 4. Combat capabilities. Mastery of both air-to-air and air-to-ground roles. In the air-to-air role, while not a pure specialist like the F-15C, the F-15E still builds on the F-15 family's record of 104 victories without losing a single aircraft throughout its operational history. A typical tactic begins at long range. The AN/APG-82 radar detects targets from 150 to 200 kilometers away. The Weapons Systems Officer, WSO, locks on and fires a salvo of AIM-120 missiles, after which the pilot maneuvers immediately to break the enemy's radar lock. If the opponent manages to penetrate the long-range missile barrier and enter close range, the F-15E still holds the advantage thanks to its high thrust-to-weight ratio, allowing it to turn in a tighter radius and climb faster than most aircraft of its generation. The 20mm cannon and AIM-9X will finish the job in an instant, but the F-15E's true home turf is ground attack. A typical penetration mission unfolds as follows. First, the aircraft flies below 150 meters, shuts off the main radar to avoid detection, and relies solely on the inertial navigation system and FLIR infrared sensors to track the terrain. When approaching the target at a distance of about 50 to 60 kilometers, the pilot pulls the stick to climb to an altitude of 5,000 meters, and the Weapons Systems Officer, WSO, activates the Sniper XR pod to scan for targets. After identifying and locking onto the target, a JDAM or GBU-12 bomb is dropped. Immediately, the pilot engages the afterburner, makes a sharp turn, and deploys chaff to escape the air defense zone. The entire process, from takeoff to withdrawal, typically lasts less than a minute, just enough time to prevent the enemy from reacting. In actual operations such as Desert Storm, 1991, Iraq, 2003, Libya, 2011, and Syria, 2018, the F-15E has proven its worth. It has destroyed hundreds of tanks, demolished underground command centers, sunk patrol boats, and even shot down enemy helicopters with precision-guided bombs, a rare feat. The common thread in all those missions is that the F-15E had never been shot down, until April 3, 2026. 5. Cost. The price of a legend. A common question is, how much does a complex war machine like the F-15E cost? The answer depends on the time period and the method of calculation. For the original F-15Es produced from the late 1980s through 2001, the initial purchase cost, flyaway cost, was approximately $31.1 million per aircraft at 1998 prices. Adjusted for inflation, this figure is equivalent to about $62 million as of 2026. However, the F-15E production line has long since closed. Today, if the U.S. Air Force or its allies want a brand new Attack Eagle, they must purchase the successor model, the F-15EX Eagle II, priced at approximately $87 to $94 million per aircraft, depending on configuration and accompanying weapons. Operating and maintenance costs are a different story. According to official U.S. Air Force data, each flight hour of the F-15E in 2019 cost approximately $17,936. By 2026, this figure had risen to between $26,000 and $28,000 due to rising fuel prices and labor costs. Nevertheless, compared to fifth-generation aircraft like the F-35A, approximately $35,000 per hour, or the F-22, up to $60,000 per hour, the F-15E remains a significantly more economical option. This is due to its robust design, ease of maintenance, and abundant spare parts supply after more than 3 decades of operation. If we calculate the total life cycle cost for an F-15E operating for 30 years with 8,000 flight hours, the figure would be approximately $320 million, including the initial purchase price, $62 million, fuel and maintenance, $224 million, and midlife upgrades such as the AESA radar or the EPAWSS system, approximately $30 to $40 million. Although not cheap compared to the F-35A, which has a total life cycle cost of $450 to $500 million, the F-15E is still considered the cost-effective option for missions that do not require maximum stealth capability. 6. The shoot-down over Iranian skies, an incident involving the U.S. Air Force. On the night of April 3, 2026, an F-15E from the 494th Squadron was shot down over Isfahan, Iran. This marked the first time an Attack Eagle had been lost in combat. Background: Operation Epic Fury, launched by President Trump on February 28, 2026, aimed to neutralize Iran's underground nuclear facilities following Tehran's withdrawal from the nuclear agreement. 2 F-15Es, call signs Dagger 1-1 and Dagger 1-2, were tasked with destroying the 91N6E radar, the eyes of the S-300PM U-2 system defending Isfahan. They took off from Al Udeid, Qatar, refueled twice, flew at altitudes below 100 meters, and turned off their primary radar. Everything went according to plan. At 0:15 on April 4th, the Dagger pair climbed to 5,000 meters, so the Sniper XR pod could lock onto the target. The WSO on Dagger 1-1 confirmed the enemy radar was transmitting pulses. 2 JDAM bombs were dropped. Immediately afterward, the missile warning system blared. A trail of smoke appeared from the southeast. The pilot ordered an evasive maneuver, and the WSO deployed decoys, but the missile remained locked on. Less than 8 seconds later, an explosion. The F-15E broke in two. The Ace's 2 ejection seats propelled both pilots out. Dagger 1-2 aborted the mission and returned to Qatar. 2 hours later, Iranian state television released images of the wreckage, serial number 90-0249, confirming it belonged to Squadron 494. The IRGC declared, Iran's new air defense system shot down the intruding aircraft, but they did not specify which missile was used. 3 hypotheses have been put forward. President Trump's hypothesis, that it was a lucky hit from a shoulder-fired missile, was rejected because manpads cannot fire as far as 4,200 to 5,000 meters. The second hypothesis, the Khordad-3, a copy of the SA-11 book, the Terror-2 missile, with a range of 50 kilometers and a speed of Mach 3.5. Possibility, yes. The third hypothesis, the most widely accepted, the Khordad-15 or Bavar 373, equivalent to the S-300 PMU-2, combined with a radar silence tactic. The radar only activates for a split second before launch, leaving the F-15E's warning system no time to react. That is why Dagger 1-1 only received the warning when it was already too late. The F-15E Strike Eagle is one of the best war machines the United States has ever built. It is powerful, fast, durable, and has fought in every conflict over the past 3 decades without ever being shot down. Its operating costs are also far more reasonable than those of the F-35 or F-22, allowing the U.S. Air Force to maintain its fleet size while staying within budget. But the hypothetical scenario involving Iran in 2026 reminds us of a simple truth. No weapon is perfect. Technology has its limits. Adversaries learn. The F-15E in that scenario was shot down, but both pilots made it home, and that is what matters most. What do you think of the F-15E Strike Eagle? Leave your comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos.